as well. He's playing against Kane Rianhard. And we got a Sidisi whip deck. What do we have going on over here? So you see Humphries is at 6 and we're in game number 3, and Kane is at 29. So let's take a look at this deck list here. I got a little bit of Elvish Mystic, Satyr Wayfinder, Sylvan Caryatid, some Coursers, some Sidicis, 1 Sylvan Innistrad, 4 copies of Hornet Queen. Whoa! 3 Whip of Erebos, 4 Murderous Cut, and 3 copies of Heroes Downfall.
So this is a Whip of Erebos kind of Reanimator style deck.
Yeah, a little bit. Some Sidisi action happening here as well. So this is a bit of a brew here, I would say. But it sounds like, it looks like there was at least a whip in play at some point, because Kane is at 29. And Trevor's trying to overcome this at 6 life.
Yeah, hard to know because it's not clear how the whip would have gotten removed, but he has gained quite a bit of life. Maybe it's just the coursers, who knows?
Could just been the coursers just going to work for sure. Humphries going to tap some mana here. He's sitting at 5-0 right now, again playing this Jeskai deck. There's a copy of Banishing Light, so there goes a courser. You can see the top card there on Rianhard's deck is a copy of Sidisi Blood Tyrant. And that will be his draw. Let's take a look at the next card. It's a copy of Disdainful Stroke. Here's an attack with a courser. It looks like Humphries is going to move down to 4. You can see in Rianhard's hand, doesn't have a copy of Hornet Queen and the necessary mana to cast it.
And you're on camera and it's super fun, so I guess that settles it.
He's just going to pass the turn.
All right, fine.
Wrong. Dig through time. Yikes. Humphries going to take a look at the top 7, see if he can find something here. 2 cards going to go in. Rest going to go to the bottom.
It's like Stoke and Dig Through Time.
2 pretty powerful cards. Humphries going to untap here. Take a draw. Don't have a great look at his hand outside of the cards he dug for.
That's a Narset.
Really? So all he's trying to do is clear away for that card.
Yep.
Bang. Stoke's going to take care of that.
I believe no copies of Narset in McLaren's winning list, though there was one in the sideboard of Kevin Jones's build of the deck.
Disdainful Stroke. The draw here for Rianhard. Again, Humphries knows that because Courser was in play. So Kane's going to move around his mana. See what spell he wants to cast. He's going to go Sidisi. Does this resolve? Absolutely not. Stroke's going to take care of that. Pass the turn back. Again, about 3 minutes here for these players in game number 3. Temple of Epiphany, the draw here for Humphries. Time to scry. Top card looks good. Will he try to, well, I guess trying to resolve Narset, it's not going to work because he knows about the Disdainful Stroke.
Yeah, no rush to do anything. Yep. No reason to let Kane efficiently curve out.
You can see Kane's hand here, a couple copy of Heroes Downfall. He's moving in now with the Hornet Queen. Will the bees resolve? There is a dissolve in Humphries' hand. Two, 5. Is he maybe going to dig first, which is a little bit risky? I think because I'm not sure he has another blue mana. Yeah, it looks like he's untapping.
He has a temple and a Mystic Monastery off to the side.
Off to the side, okay, with the Battlefield Forge. Yeah. If that's the case, this works out well.
I think the rightmost card that's essentially entirely cut off of the screen is a Temple of Epiphany.
Okay.
So I think he can do this.
Dig again.
Attention Magic players, I need Ian Robb and Sean Arojo.
And a couple of Jeskai Charms and Hostilities as well. Yikes.
Well, with the light tools the way that they are, a lot of these cards don't matter that much. I mean, the random removal spells, the burn spells, those are not productive draws.
Jeskai Charm having all of those modes, though. That's what's powerful. And looks like the Queen's going to resolve.
Well, if Trevor found a copy of End Hostilities, he
Sure.
may want to save the dissolve for something that's harder to answer otherwise.
And he can just say, I'll clean it up this way.
Yep.
Yeah, you were right. It was a Temple Epiphany up there. So this is just him valuing his dissolve very highly. Maybe he just values his dissolve as a card that counters Whip of Erebos.
Not only does it counter Whip of Erebos, but that's also an opportunity for him to cash in one of his spells that can get hit by a stroke while Kane is tapped out. So he can save the dissolve, and Kane can't play back into counter war.
An attempt at Sidisi now. This is another disdainful stroke. Man, stroke has looked insane all weekend.
Yep.
Goodness, goodness. Elvish Mystic. Humphries. We're going to tap all those lands. He's got to get a move on.
Yeah, 30 seconds, although Narset can kill pretty quickly.
It can close it out pretty fast, depending on what he reveals. There's a disdainful stroke. That's a dissolve, so he's going to win the war and get the scry. He's going to sacrifice Flooded Strand first. So there's a plains, and now he's going to scry with the dissolve.
And part of this also maybe he put so many Jeskai Charms on the bottom of his deck, and those are some of the high-value reveals he has to a Narset that he does not want those on the bottom.
So it's going to be time in the round. That means Humphries is going to be turn number 0. He'll also get turns 2 and 4, while Rianhard's going to get turns 1, 3, and 5. So a little scry here with dissolve. And the card that Humphries is looking at is just a copy of Banishing Light.
Chase Jones and Anthony Consiglio, please report to the main event scorekeeper. Chase Jones.
So turn number
Anthony
1 here for
Consiglio.
Kane. See what he draws. Did not get a great look.
I have to imagine Whip of Erebos is the one that he wants the most.
The Death Dealer. One's powerful, but not great.
Well, it's pretty solid for blocking Narset. It means that, you know, Trevor probably only gets one crack at it.
Yeah, well, Banishing Light's going to clear the way.
Sure.
That's the bigger issue here. You can see Kane's hand right now. He's got a Sylvan Caryatid and then 2 copies of Hero's Downfall. So get this out of the way. Trigger this. Let's have some fun. Well, one of these he won't be casting.
I mean, 7 damage is a lot, but again, Kane's life total is just so high right now.
It's a lot, yeah. And Hostilities, of course, will not be cast in this situation. It's interesting because I think if Trevor had turns 1, 3, and 5,
He might have enough time.
I think he might have enough time to get it done. But because he only has turns 2 and 4, that doesn't look to be the case. Narset just getting to work. This is a little Hornet Queen action off the top. It is.
Well, that is lethal.
Yeah, this is more than welcome territory for Elvish Mystic to get in the red zone. Humphries draws his card. Turn number 4. And now all of a sudden, because Rianhard has turn number 5, he might be able to win this game.
Yeah. This is the spot where I bet Trevor wishes he could flip over that End Hostilities.
So he's going to reorganize some mana here. Don't have a great look at what's in his hand.
Well, I mean, he can't win by blocking.
He might as well be attacking.
Yeah.
That's one way to play it, that's for sure. Faded Conflagration. Oh, we're scrying. Well, might be leaving one of those on top.
Well, Stokes among the top 4, but,
Yep.
you know, Trevor may be just trying to cobble together a draw at this stage.
I think so.
In which case, anything that isn't a sweeper has to go to the bottom.
Yeah. Because the world where he turns over enough damage to get the job done, I don't think that exists.
Well, the most he can flip over is 16.
16, right?
Yeah.
Chase Jones and Anthony Consiglio, please report to the standard scorekeeper.
Tough to pass up a
Chase
Stoke.
Jones and Anthony Consiglio.
But he's going to leave it on top. Here comes Narset. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. And so now what Humphries can actually do in this situation is maybe use Jeskai Charms +1/+1 in lifelink mode.
Yes. Which gets him up to 6, which means that he is not dying on this shot on the way back, because Kane only has 5 points of power.
Yep.
Legacy Open Trial players.
Tough thing for Humphries here is I think, you know, if he gets 2 more turns, I think he would be able to win this game with Narset.
Yes.
So it makes it really hard.
Once again, Legacy Open Trial players. Pairings for round 1 are going up on the
Narset is just, it's unbelievable if it gets going.
It's a lot of power. It's, you know, not going to be good on every single board, but uncontested. In this deck is really good.
So Jeskai Charm is going to be used to give +1/+1 and lifelink.
Remember, the Legacy Open starts at 9 a.m.
Those lands are going to go away. And Stoke the Flames, I imagine, will be cast here momentarily, just kind of going upstairs. Maybe going after a creature, who knows? Because I can't imagine that Humphries knows exactly the composition of the Sidisi whip deck. It is turn number 5. Kane's going to draw. Did not get a great look at what he drew. Though he is reaching for mana pretty quickly here. It's a Whip of Erebos, but there's Negate.
Yeah, this looks like a draw then.
Yeah. Whip was an insane top deck, but Humphries had it covered with the Negate. And it's looking like a draw for these 2 players.
Yeah, it's not, I mean, it's not clear who wins next turn because Kane doesn't have the chump blocker, and it'll probably come down to the Narset reveals, but.
Yep. Man, you see Kane is, he's looking at those 4 Hornets, and then Elvis Mystic and saying, I can't deal you 1 more point of damage. I should be able to deal you 1 more point of damage. And he's not going to be able to. And it's kind of that realization at this point where he just can't, he needs an extra turn, but if Trevor gets an extra turn, that would also be a disaster, I think.
And if this is turn 5, I'm not really sure what we're contemplating here.
Well, I mean, just got to think about it. In for 3, put Humphries down to 3. But we've got 5 turns, and I don't think this is going to be going anywhere. So the players will kind of have the conversation as they're known to have. You know, Kane will show his hand of Heroes Downfalls, which don't do anything. And we'll figure out once we do have the result from the table judge, we'll let you guys know. But we're going to come back to the booth here as, you know, this happens when draws do happen. Neither player really wants to give it up, but it just is what it is. It's going to be a draw.
It's also not clear who's winning the game because, you know, Trevor could easily untap and win.
Yeah,
so.
Or you can turn over 4 lands with Narset.
Yeah, exactly.
Of course, it don't matter.
So it's not even like, you know, it's not even like Kane has the win on the table. Yeah. It's still up in the air, so most likely a draw. Yeah.